Okay, so welcome to Suitcase Divas podcast. This is episode 27. My name is Denise Theobaldi with Redbirds Travel.
And I'm Cheryl Garcia with ABCD Adventures.
Yeah, so today, guys, the topic is what's your travel related hot take? And so Cheryl's more familiar with this. Of course, we got this from Reddit, and that's kind of her bag. But if you're like me and I'm like, what the hell is a hot take, Cheryl? That is a quickly produced, strongly worded, often deliberately provocative, sensational opinion or reaction, kind of like you're trying to get a response, like you're passionate about a topic, and you're probably going to be like have a passionate comment, and somebody else might see it completely different. So, am I on the right track, Cheryl?
Absolutely. A hot take usually is a debatable topic, something that you can have a conversation about. Doesn't have to be super deep. It can, though. It doesn't have to be super scandalous or anything like that. It
But
can
it
just
can
be
be, and
right.
sometimes that's fun.
And it can just be a fun conversation to get or a conversation starter to get a conversation going. So today, as y'all know, I love Reddit, and I found this one. It's been moving for about 7 or 8 days on the digital nomad thread, which that's a very interesting thread in and of itself. So make sure you guys check that out. But this was a topic that I found interesting. So, what we're going to do today is go over some of the hot takes that people were talking about on this thread, and then we'll give our opinions. And then at the end, we'll give our own travel related hot takes. So, by then, hopefully, Denise, you'll have one because you'll know what we're talking about. So, to kick
No,
us off,
I'm winging it today. I'm winging it today. But I
yeah.
got you. I got you. I'll get there.
So, kicking it off, our first hot take is sleeping in airports isn't that bad, actually. Have you ever had to sleep in an airport?
I've been in an airport overnight, but I would never lay down and sleep. And I had Reese was two. It was a horrific experience, honestly.
Oh.
I held Reese in my lap, and we were going up to my mom's memorial. The flight kept getting delayed to the point at like 9 o'clock. They're like, the flight's not going to happen. So then they offered to rent those of us that was in Newark, New Jersey, which by the way, that airport is horrific. I'm sorry, it just is. Or my experience there was
Yeah.
awful. Um, and then so they decided to get us like a minivan taxi, and they decided to drive us from Newark, New Jersey up to Bangor, Maine. And I mean,
Wow.
they had to find me a car seat. Like we had nothing. We literally didn't have our
Wow.
bags. Our bags, I don't have anything with me. So and we got a flat tire on the way up there. So then we're on the side of the street. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was awful. But the answer is no, I did not sleep at the airport because I wouldn't be able to.
So
I
you
couldn't.
think sleeping in an airport, the hot take is this person says sleeping in an airport isn't that bad, actually. And you're like, oh, yes, it is.
Hell no, I would never do it. Yeah, it is bad. If you're ever in a situation where you would need to be at an airport overnight, you're probably not having a good travel experience, is what I'm saying.
I have slept in an airport a couple times, and I'm with this person. It's not that bad. And I think it's because of one, planning for it. Well, not really planning for it, but being prepared. So one of the key things is I travel in clothes that I'm like, okay, I'm not going straight to an event or straight to something. I'm in travel clothes. So laying on the floor does not bother me. Second, I have had to travel with scouts. I've traveled with band. We were stuck in
Hmm.
and out when we did our Hawaii trip with 80 people when we took the band to Hawaii, 80 plus people. We got stuck in LA overnight for like 12, 13 hours. So
Hmm.
we were absolutely sleeping. That's why we travel with our pillow. We had blankets. One of our adults
And
actually
you
had
guys are just putting that on the floor of the airport?
absolutely. Yeah,
Oh,
I will take my
Jesus,
book bag,
Cheryl.
my go bag, lay it on the floor. That's my pillow. Put on my
Mm.
little eye mask, or I will absolutely. I have stretched out multiple times on the floor. It's gross, but you're sitting in the
Nothing.
seats of the plane. Nothing with
Uh,
travel is clean anyway. So I
Get
just am
you.
prepared.
There's a difference between being in a seat on a plane and on the floor laying down on the floor of an airport. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
It,
this is why it's a hot take, Denise, because it's a debatable conversation. Nothing too deep, but it's something that,
yeah, I
so
feel you.
I'm wondering,
It
listeners, how many of y'all have slept at an airport or are like, no, I'm no matter what, I'm going to a hotel, even if it's for an hour, I'm not sleeping there. What is your opinion on sleeping at a hotel? So,
hmm.
um, our
That was
next,
not a hotel, an airport floor is what we were
oh
talking
yeah,
about.
sorry. Yeah, I was reading. This is what we do.
I'm still, you know what? This kind of makes me realize more and more that I potentially am the candy ass bougie that
Well,
I'm not
let's
trying to be
see.
that girl. I'm gonna try to be less like that, okay? So
No,
that I'm
that's all
not
right. So
completely
let's see, because everybody's is different. So as we move down, the
okay.
other one, another one is you don't need to do something exciting or unique every day. Taking down days is okay while traveling. What do you think about that?
I think absolutely. You don't need to have something planned for every day. And sometimes being on vacation, you're just supposed to be relaxing, right? Just having some downtime. I'm super excited for Orlando. I mean,
Right.
I'm the last time that I've laid in the sun by a pool has been months with nothing to do. Well, I mean, we have shit to do, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
look forward to not having a plan for every second of this work trip and being able to just have some downtime. So I absolutely agree. What are your thoughts?
I think it depends on the type of trip. A lot of my travel in the last several years have been with kids on get with a point to the trip. So they're jam
Yeah.
packed with, well, we do have to schedule downtime because it can be overwhelming. But I know like when I travel with my family or with just me and my husband, we definitely have downtime. We don't pack an itinerary full, but I do think it depends on the trip, on whether or not you're scheduling a downtime. And I say scheduling, but you know what I mean.
You you do like a good schedule
Right.
itinerary. Um, okay, so how do you feel about this one? Drinking at airports sucks. It's a great way to get dehydrated. You have to pee a bunch on the plane. You're being restless, and it's often really overpriced too. What are your thoughts?
It's absolutely overpriced, but
Indeed.
I think there are times when that drink is much needed when you're
Agreed.
traveling. I do
Hmm.
remember I went on a trip where it was much needed, but they were not serving. It was not long after COVID. They had, or I guess it was maybe 2021. I think it was American had stopped selling alcohol online. I mean, on flights. So we had ordered something, couldn't get it. Now they are. So I think it depends. Um, Usually at the airport before a drink or two is not too bad. I think it just
Well,
depends on
because of
your.
the anxiety, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I have anxiety when I have to fly. Like, I'm a nervous Nelly. I know this is
Yeah.
shocking. I know this is shocking to all of you. Um, so yeah, having a drink or two calms my nerves a bit. And if peeing is the price you have to pay to not feel like you want to jump out of your fucking skin, then I don't think it's a bad price to
See,
pay.
I have a thing. I don't want to have to get up. I always have to pee when I get. I hate having to get up to pee on the plane. So I
I
try
don't,
not
I
to.
avoid that too. Yeah, I avoid that too. Unless it's an emergency, I will not use a plane restroom. So
Yeah. I usually do, but we'll see. I mean, it just depends because when you're nervous, you're drinking, whether it's an alcoholic drink or water, you do tend to drink more, and that can set you up for having to. That's why I don't like the middle seat. That's why I like the aisle seat because I don't want to have to bother my seatmates. Here's
yeah.
another good one, and this is something that because we do fly and we have had this come up before. Airline loyalty was great 25 years ago. Today, it's just stupid. This was someone's opinion on Reddit. What are your thoughts
Well,
on airline loyalty programs?
okay. Well, so if I'm being completely honest, I've never been part of an airline loyalty program. I mean, I guess I have American Airlines. I do have theirs, but I've not flown a ton until the last 10 years. I literally packed my first bag to travel down to college. That was my first flight of my life. I just put all my shit in a bag and was like, North
Okay.
Carolina, here I am. So
Yeah.
I hadn't done a lot of, and I wasn't a loyal, but I will say I hear people talk about it, and they're saying it was great years ago because they actually earned points, you earned free flights, you earned all that, and they kind of really nickel and dime you and make you. It's so hard to even earn anything free these days, is what my understanding is. So what are your thoughts on that?
I do have, or I do have the American Airlines loyalty thing. The downside with a specific airline loyalty program is you're stuck using
With
that
that
one.
airline, yeah.
Yeah, so and they're not always the best price because your goal is to look for the best price. Now, some airlines are better than others, and some airlines your people just won't travel in general, which is fine. I'm finding that if someone's asking me, should they, and everybody should join all the airline. If you're flying an airline, you need to join their loyalty program is usually free. Those free
Yeah.
programs are the ones that aren't going to get you the benefits. You're going to have to do their credit card, sign up for their levels that they have in order
Mm.
to actually benefit from a airline loyalty program. I think the better option is if you travel a lot, get a travel-based rewards program from one of your credit cards, or
Credit card. Okay.
even then that kind of limits you because whatever partnership is with that credit card, you get stuck. They gear the better rewards would be towards their partnered airlines. So
Mm.
my recommendation is use your rewards from your cash rewards from your credit cards and then turn that around and bank it for your travel. I don't think there's always that value in the programs. However, if you do travel a lot and you have longer flights, especially if you're doing layovers or international flights, having access to their what are
Their
they called?
lounge.
Their lounges, which by the way, most of them you can buy a day pass for. So you're not even
Yeah.
it's not even that exclusive. The rewards you get from airline programs aren't always exclusive. You can
Mm.
purchase them. So I agree with this person that I think they're overrated, the loyalty programs.
Yeah. I hear you. Right, right, right. I agree. Um, uh, do you want me to take the next one or are you going to do
Sure,
it?
you go ahead.
Okay, so going with the flow is much better than planning ahead. Um, I think we will differ on this because you are a fly by the seat of your pants type of gal. And I, well, because we're planners, I think planning ahead is what is in nature to us. I guess it depends on, am I doing this for a client or am I doing this for myself? I guess
Right.
that's where I would have to be like, it depends on the situation. Um, I personally, I don't love surprises. Don't hit me up with a surprise birthday party and I'm not dressed in a cute outfit. Like, I just I like to know what's going to happen. I prefer to plan ahead than go with the flow. I have one friend in our college group. She's just like, we don't need to plan anything. We'll just wing it. Winging it gives me anxiety. That's where it
Okay.
comes from. So to have a plan in mind, it helps me. It helps me. So
Yeah.
how about you?
I think it depends. I'm going to speak from personal, not planning for clients. Personally, if I'm traveling with a group of friends or a group of students or a group of whatever, any type of group, I want some type of itinerary. It doesn't have to be minute by minute, hour by hour, but we need a daily gist of the plan because I
Yeah,
need to be organized. I need to make sure I have everything that I need.
have your go bag.
I was just about to say, make sure I have the correct go bags. When I'm traveling with my family, or especially me and my husband, we don't I'm more of a go with the flow. When he and I travel a lot more now the kids are older, just he and I. And when we go places, we kind of have an idea of what's in the area, but we get up that day and be like, okay, let's go do X, Y, or Z, or let's walk around and see what grabs our eye.
Yeah.
I just need to know what type of clothes to wear
Hmm.
or pack. Like that's so I guess I always have some list so that my go
Some
bags
kind
are
of plan.
correct,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
do like just having to go with whatever's going on that day for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So this next one I thought was interesting, especially the comments under it on this thread. The next one was travel got better. This person's opinion. Travel got better when I stopped posting on Instagram. And they were talking about started living in the moment versus getting those great pics. So,
Seeing how many likes you got or how many thumbs
or
up.
just the memories. I mean, everybody has their own personal reason or preference on why they're taking the pictures, but I'm curious what your thought is on traveling
So
and taking pictures.
I love taking pictures. And I'll tell you what, I'm that pain in the ass friend that I'll be like, "Come on guys, let's get together for a picture." And then I have memories pop up all the time on my feeds and my friends are like, "Thank you Denise for making us do that." Like we would never had all these pictures. You know how I have over 40,000 pictures on my phone right now. Like I'm a picture taker. I just do it. I take pictures of my food. I take pictures of my puppy. My kids would say a lot of it is of Riley, and that's true. He's just so freaking cute. But I would say I don't post to Instagram a lot. I don't,
Well,
but I do
I
like
should have
taking
changed that to social media. Just posting it when the
in
intent of
general.
taking that picture was for social media kind of thing. They seem
Well,
to enjoy it better.
for me, it's not so much about social media. For me, it's more for having memories to look back on where we are never promised tomorrow. Okay. So I like to have these memories to be like, you know what? That was so much fun. I just had one pop up of us, which I'm very tempted to post, but it was
The
actually Laura's
Savannah, the
the Savannah
Savannah
one, but there were
trip.
so many. There were so many. I would just grab the one of maybe of us at Tybee Island. But yeah, that was a great trip. And we were at a rooftop pool and it was so much fun. And we were right on Front Street. It was so much fun. It was such a great trip. And when I see those pictures come up, it makes me happy. Like it brings me joy. I remembered what a great trip that was. So for me, I love taking pictures. I love having the memories. So I'm a picture person and I'm not even going to apologize for that.
No, I don't think you should. I so appreciate that you're the picture person. When my kids were little and we traveled, I all or even not just traveling, but I always took pictures of the kids. I've noticed in my phone what in my picture content is first of all, it's usually memes I've screenshotted to send to you or something. But
I love a
I
good
don't
meme.
have as many personal pictures. One, because I think you take them or others take them. I do try. Here's my dilemma, and this is what the feed was talking about. The thing that's bothering certain travelers is when people are going and they say the Instagram shot, but you and I are not big Instagrammers. We are TikTok and Facebook people, but
Yeah.
they are there just for that shot and not
But I'm
appreciating
not
the
doing it
moment.
for likes. Like I could give
Right.
a shit less if you give me a thumbs up, if you comment. I mean,
Well,
it'd be
no, just
great
to
if
get
it's
that
relevant, but yeah.
picture that everybody has seen on social media or whatever. So I love that we do it for the memories. Here's the
Yeah,
other side of that. Since we have been doing this podcast, since we have been doing our travel business and whatnot, content is important. So you
it
have
is.
to take it. So you're trying to balance that respect of everybody else around you, enjoying living the moment. Also, every time we travel is technically some form of work. So
Yes.
there's a big balance between that. I think pictures are important. I really wish I had printed more. I don't, do you have printed pictures or are they all digital?
Uh so I have all of my they're most of them are digital, but I have them categorized.
You
Like
do. You are very
I
organized.
have
Yeah.
year by year, month by month, I have everything. I always offload my pictures so I can tell you 10 years ago in May what I was doing. I'll go
Right.
back
I know.
and
I
I've
think
got
that's
everything
awesome.
categories.
I just think
So,
that I need to print out the pictures more because I'm the only one that, unless we post them, we're the only ones that see them. So I do think there's value in posting your memories and your pictures or
right.
posting your pictures for the memories to pop up later.
And I
So
will
I
put a
think
collage together. I like to do that's a good birthday
yes,
gift. I for my friends, I take all the pictures of all of us over the years and then I'm like, happy birthday, and then here's the
right.
memories.
Yeah, you
You
do.
know?
You are really good at that one.
Yeah.
So that takes us to this one I think is very interesting. Um, Airbnbs are better than hotels. And in the same, like this was back and forth. A, a whole other conversation was hotels are better than Airbnbs. So where do you fall on those? Are you a Airbnb better than hotels or hotels better than Airbnb?
Again, situational for me. It's absolutely situational. If I am wanting to stay for a week in Amelia Island with my girlfriends on a trip, I would probably, it depends on the amenities. Like we stayed at an autograph collection hotel and it was like close to the beach and it had a trolley right there. If you're in an Airbnb, you're not necessarily, I mean, they do have them there. So it just really depends. Hotels would be more for shorter stays, I think, for me. Um, Whereas Airbnbs would be, and it depends on where you are in the world too. Because if you're in Nashville, I got an amazing Airbnb right on the strip in Nashville for a girls' trip. But, you know, hotels, they hotels tend to be cheaper, right? Less expensive, in my opinion, I think.
I think it
Um,
varies, depending,
so
again, location and time of year.
this is a very situational. Well, I can see how this is hot because it depends. Like there's so many different scenarios
I'm
that
100% hotel.
yeah,
I would
why so?
absolutely, I do not, one, I'm going on vacation somewhere. I don't want to have to clean.
Because
I
of the
don't
breakfast
want
and
to,
the
it's not even the
yeah.
breakfast. I don't want, because when we travel with a family, we have a timeshare. So we usually get like a 2 or 3 bedroom, because ours we can choose. It has the kitchen, the living room, dining room, and then the bedrooms, usually 2 baths. We don't have a cleaner that whole week, but I get fresh towels. I don't have to do that. We're still doing like our dishes and whatnot. But when I leave, I'm bagging up my trash and that's it. I'm not doing all the stuff that is required for an Airbnb. I don't like that aspect of it. I don't like the fact that you don't know what you're getting until you get there. You don't necessarily know about the parking, even though they can say on-site parking, that just means you're parking at the curb. Like you have to do a lot more digging and vetting your Airbnb than I think you do a hotel.
Mm.
The surrounding
I
area
see your
is
point.
not
If you have a
always
big group,
safe.
though, you have no place to stay. Like, so I'm a little worried. In Orlando, we have four, if not five girls in one room with one bathroom. Like, man, I like some space to
Which is why
branch
I
out.
like the condos, the hotel type
The
condos. That's
suites,
what we
the
stay
type of
in
suite.
for our
Yeah.
family. We usually have a 2 or 3 bedroom with 2 baths, and we've not really had trouble finding them in, the beach towns is where we go. I don't mind a beach house. Now, I will absolutely rent a beach house, and that's not, it might be
And what
listed
about
on.
like if you've got a big family though, and you can't afford to eat out at restaurants for like every night
Mhm.
for a week, then maybe an Airbnb is better so that you can do some of your cooking, at the rental. But I can different scenarios for both of these. I'm kind of
Yeah.
like I like both in different scenarios. That's
I see,
kind of
I
where
wouldn't
I'm
even
still
plan a
staying at.
family where it was so large unless it was like to a beach house, or I'm renting a lake house or something like that, which now they are listed on Airbnb or VRBO. But when we would rent beach houses, you'd have to look at beach houses in the Outer Banks or whatever. You didn't have that kind of resource. And it wasn't as fee intensive as it is now with Airbnb. I think but I tell you, my daughter absolutely loves Airbnbs. That's her preference.
I've stayed in
So
some really nice Airbnbs, and they're very like in Lake Lure, we stayed at an Airbnb that was Dirty Dancing themed. Like, they filmed part of Dirty Dancing in North
yeah,
Carolina on Lake Lure. And so that unique experience you would not get in a hotel. Like the whole
I
house
agree with
was
that.
had different themes of different sets, pictures from the movies, like memorabilia of the movie. And I love that movie. So that was a unique opportunity that I would not have had if it had just been a hotel. So that's situational for me still.
But see, this
But
is
yeah,
the hot take of it, is that it's a good question. These are good questions or topics or opinions, and they're so debatable because it's really comes down to personal preference or the situation.
okay.
Um,
Well, I will tell you, I now know what my hot take is
okay, so that
because
leads us into kind
because
of our final thoughts. So, what did you come up with as your hot take?
okay, so you do know that Riley is my world. So
Mhm.
for me, traveling with my pets is preferred. Like I would rather travel,
Okay.
I'd rather drive and have Riley come with me for a week than to have to board him and have the anxiety of, is my dog okay? Is he being taken care of? And I love just the daily walks with him. And he's such a part of the family. Like, I just would, I would always prefer to travel with my
That is a really good hot take because I'll tell you right now, I'm not traveling with any of my pets.
pet.
Not at all.
Your pets are not so portable, Cheryl.
They're not, but they're also a handful. So I'm absolutely not. I want to break from them. That's my vacation, my time away because I love my dogs, but they are a handful and I appreciate my time away and then I miss them and I can appreciate them and love them more when I get back. So that's a good hot take because I'm absolutely not traveling with my dogs. My daughter absolutely would travel with her dogs. So I totally get that. Um, so I'll tell you my hot take, which is funny because I had a different one, then I switched it because I thought you would eventually take the first hot take that I had. So I'll tell you the one I ended up with, then I'll go back to the one I know we both agree on.
Ooh, okay.
So my
This
hot
is
take is having an itinerary is a must. Doesn't have to be very, very detailed. You just have to have an outline of your expectations of this trip, whether it is
okay.
to relax or it is to check off certain things that you've seen. I absolutely value having some type of itinerary or plan. That's important to me.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I said, it calms my anxiety just having to know, what we're planning for that day. And it doesn't have to, like you said, it doesn't have to be hour by hour, minute by minute. We can mix things up that we,
Right.
shuffle stuff around, but just kind of having an idea of what we're doing that day, that just helps me definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what's the one now? Now, like, I really want to know what you thought I was going to steal, Cheryl.
Yeah, because I had it. I was like, oh, she's actually going to pick this one. Because we both agree on this and we struggle when we travel together with this. We both
Ooh.
agree you can never overpack.
Oh, so agreed.
Yeah, you can
Honey.
never have too much. You can never have too big luggage. It's yeah. So, do you agree? That's
A
a
100%, a million percent. Yeah. I saw a meme the other day that said, okay, take everything in your suitcase and take all the money that you were planning for your trip. Take half of the things out of your suitcase and double your money. I'm like, fuck no. I'm
what?
not going to take
Yeah.
half the thing. No, I'm not, because they're saying you don't need it. Don't overpack. You don't need it. There's been so many times on a trip where I'm like, if I had just brought that one other blingy tank top that I wanted, that's what I wanted to wear. Because when you pack for a trip, is not necessarily we've been through this, is not the weather you're going to get on that trip.
Exactly.
You might have a change of itinerary where now you need something more formal than what you thought you were going to need that day. And
Yep.
I don't want to be underprepared. I would always want to be overdressed than underdressed. That's totally me.
I want to have a variety. I want to be able to fit the event, the activity. I want to be able to fit the weather. I usually am the one, do you need an extra this? Do you need an extra that? Who
I
needs
was just saying,
medicine?
sharing's caring. I like to
Yes.
have what people need and want.
I will
Um,
say, even though I don't think you can ever take too much, I have, especially when traveling with scouts or groups where you have to, I hate only carry on. I always want to be able to check a bag. I don't like to travel with just a carry on, but I can do it. I much prefer to check a bag and have my go bag as my carry on and not have to just rely on a carry on. That's my jam.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. And my final takeaway on that is the same. I'd much rather check a bag and have everything I need than to not have what I want when I get there. Because it's also expensive when you're on vacation. If you're buying stuff that you could have, bought
Right.
back at home, it gets pretty pricey too. It does get pretty pricey. So I think being overpacked is actually going to save you money in the long run. You
I
don't have to
agree.
buy that, and I just like to be the girl that has the stuff. Like if you're sunburnt,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have your aloe. I'm just
Yep.
I wanna have all the things.
I will say one of the
But
things that you and I do when we travel together is we usually don't double up on certain things. Like if you bring the aloe, I don't bring the aloe. Like we do talk, we actually plan pretty
like
in depth when we travel together so that
yeah,
we can bring as much clothes and as much accessories and shoes that we want, but then we're also covering the essentials between the two of us.
right. Yeah, agreed. That's why you are the perfect work wife. I love you so
Right,
much.
you too.
But
Oh,
yeah, so I think I just want to say I'm super stoked. Speaking of packing for trips, I'm so excited to go to Orlando for regionals, and we are currently packing right now for that. I'll bring the aloe, Cheryl.
which is good because I actually didn't have that on my list. But yeah, by the time this drops on Friday, we will actually be in Orlando. We're going down for training because we are always continuing our
For our
education and
regionals.
travel. And you
Absolutely.
will be reporting on some because neither one of us have been to this area that we're going to, that we're staying at. New airline and airport that Denise has not been to,
Correct.
and a new hotel that we have not experienced before. So stay tuned
We will
and
take you, yeah, we're going to take you along for the ride and check back in with us, and we will see you in Orlando. Have a great day, guys.
bye, guys.